All right, so I know it's been a while since I make a video. I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to make videos every day and just whatever, get views and maybe this channel won't grow until 3 or 4 or 5 years later. Um, but that's fine. Um, like I just want to use this YouTube channel kind of like a diary, I guess. Um, but yeah, as the title says, I am Mexican. I was born in Mexico, even though I don't sound Mexican particularly. My accent is very American-like. And when I was traveling and when I travel, people are always like, "Oh, you must be American. You sound American." But I'm not. I am Mexican. And being Mexican has its pros and it has its cons. And the cons, in my opinion, sometimes outweigh the pros. Um, One of the things that mostly affects me is the fact that a lot of companies here in Mexico are stingy with the salary that they offer, and they're not willing to give you a good salary just because of the fact that you're Mexican, and also that the company's owner, which is some greedy asshole, is saving money by paying people in the Mexican coin. So they don't want to give you a good salary. They have that little trick that they do in the interviews where they ask how much was your previous salary because they want to know how much you're worth and how much you can sell for. And they are so what's the word? The human resources people here are so greedy and so uptight about the salary that they're trying to not give away, that you can tell them that you make X amount and they're going to offer you 5% more. That's how greedy they are, and they'll top it off with some benefits and stuff and then just say deal with it. And it's just because you're Mexican. If you're American, on the other hand, you have some work experience, you can get a job that pays you $15 an hour, $20 an hour, and you're set. You're all set. So yeah, being a Mexican in terms of jobs and salary, not great. Not great at all. And I know I'm complaining, but um, that's just one of the things I hate the most about being Mexican. I do love the food. I do love the country. The people are, I would say, hospitable, kind. They'll joke around with you, crack a smile, a joke, and all that. Um, and there's a lot of Americans. I love seeing Americans or people from all over the world come down here to Mexico and decide they want to live down here. That's been my consolation of the fact that I'm living down here. Because when I first came down here, it was a little traumatizing. Because growing up, everyone was like, "Oh, don't go to Mexico. Mexico's a dangerous place. You're gonna get killed. You're gonna get kidnapped. Um, Awful things are gonna happen in Mexico. Don't go there." That was every single person over there that was Mexican. Maybe they had lived it. I don't know. Um, but yeah, life in the United States, I would say, is a little bit better, a little bit easier if you're a hard worker, of course, if you're willing to put in the hours, put in the work, and yeah, just work in like a construction job or like, as you know, a lot of Mexicans in America and the United States, they are working jobs that nobody wants to do. They're picking up strawberries in the field. They're collecting oranges, watermelons, and they're in the hot sun and they're just doing all this difficult work that no one really wants to do. So I don't believe in the whole idea of wanting to deport every single Mexican, because at the end of the day, uh, the United States, the country's huge. It's got billions of people. Well, maybe not billions. Is it billions? I don't know if it's in the billions, millions, but yeah, they need Mexicans because they need those jobs of agriculture. Um, they need those jobs done. So I don't believe it when I see on the news that Trump is going to deport everyone and they're going to implement a bunch of stuff to deport a lot of people. Maybe they will deport a certain percentage of those people, but a vast majority of those people aren't going anywhere. They just need those workers over there. So that's the way I see it. And I've never been assaulted here. I've never been in a compromising situation. Uh, I don't feel scared when I go outside. I don't feel scared when I ride my bicycle everywhere. And I don't really care too much about living here anymore because I've grown to love it. That's kind of like a hate love relationship. Uh, it's not all the way hate and it's not all the way love either. Because I've traveled down here and there's very beautiful places to go to. Like there's Tulum, there's Puerto Vallarta, there's Oaxaca, um, and there's cool stuff to see. There's really nice, cool stuff to see. Very beautiful landscapes and waterfalls and whatnot. So the food as well is also very delicious. I can't complain about the food. But yeah, there is a downside, of course. There's a saying here that I hate. I hate hearing the saying, but the saying is Mexican's worst enemy is another Mexican. And I have sadly experienced that personally, and it gets to me, because it makes me feel like I'm just condemned to always be this down on his luck Mexican. Uh, I've had employees, coworkers that have snitched on me for whatever stupid reason, tried to get me fired, and eventually got me fired. I've had, people that didn't want to be friends, wanted to be just enemies, and they were open about that. Um, yeah, yeah, like this place is, it can be a little of a nightmare sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie. So I do hope to get another citizenship maybe one day. Um, I do hope to get a different passport, maybe move out. I'm still in the works of planning that out. But yeah, being a Mexican is a blessing and a curse, is all I can say. It's a blessing and a curse. So if you're feeling down on your luck about the job you have, you don't like it, you don't like making $20 an hour, just know that there's Mexicans down here that are getting $4 an hour. Okay, and they're struggling. There's people out down here that are definitely struggling, and they have to feed their wife, their kids, and they're paying rent. So it's not. Um, I don't know what to say. But yeah, I think the reason why a lot of Mexicans end up joining the cartel down here is because they just don't see a future with their job. They just can't sustain themselves or maybe the life that they want doing the job that they are doing, and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna start selling drugs, or I'm gonna do this and do that and like all this other stuff. And then there's also a culture of drug lords. There's like a bunch of stupid music that I don't listen to that glorifies the violence and glorifies the cartels. And I have cousins that listen to that crappy music, but it's not something that I would vibe with ever. And yeah, like I just try to stay positive. I just try to look at the positive side of things. And I just try to like not even think about the fact that I'm Mexican. Like I don't even care about it anymore. Um, and just live day to day, I guess. Um, as far as like going back to the States, I have thought about it a couple times, but it's not really something that I anticipate doing because the friends that I grew up with in the States, they're in jail now. They were into gangs, they were into all this cholo stuff. So they're in jail. Can't really hang out with them. Um, and there's really nothing for me over there. Is all I can say. There's nothing for me. So I'd rather just stay down here, do the best I can down here. And also, I don't want to deal with any sort of discrimination, racism over there in the States because I know that's going to happen if I go up there. Um, it does happen to a lot of Mexicans up there. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm kind of past it. There was a time where I didn't really want to go back to America. And I call it America, but it is actually called USA. America is a continent, and Mexico apparently is part of that continent, and so is Brazil and Argentina and Uruguay and all these other countries. Um, but yeah, that's my life as a Mexican. I just wanted to put that out there, and that's all for today.